I got the fencing coach on to come on and do a little analysis with us. And one of the bases behind that was a lot of times, a lot of people would ask me, what do you think of the fencing coach? What do you think on his take or what have you? And obviously, and a big thing is when you read things online, right? You kind of read the messages portrayed in the voice inside your head, or at least I do. And sometimes you don't get the full context behind how it was written, why it was written. So I was like, you know what? I'll just talk to him. And man, I accidentally made a friend. So, oh, what a shame. Now I just, yeah, what a shame. Now I just have another person to talk about fencing with. So anyone watching this, I highly recommend you just, anyone you haven't really met or anything like that, just reach out to people, talk to people, and you never know what's going to happen. Just because we have two different ways of looking at things very often doesn't mean we can't agree. So that being said, let's get on with the show. It's Heinzer and Borel, and it's a pretty spicy match. I hope you guys enjoy this. Thanks, guys. So I'm here live with the fencing coach and myself. You'll notice I have a fancy new logo because I want to build credibility to myself. So we agreed to do this bout. Zero information. We did not watch this. It's the most recent Max Heinzer Borel bout.
I've
Um,
never heard of either of these guys in my life.
yeah,
No idea.
exactly. So
Yannick Bor,
Borel?
Yannick, yeah, something like that. Yeah, never heard of that guy
Nope.
in my life.
Definitely not a world champion.
No,
So
no.
what I thought like would be cool is right like the younger Max Heinzer would like be moving all the time. And in my
Yes.
opinion, like the way Max would win this is by sucking him in, which historically he wouldn't have done. But on this day, apparently it was part of his overall game plan.
Mm, okay. Yeah, it's funny. I think both these guys are kind of in this they're in this transitionary period post Tokyo, right? Like you saw this a little bit with Borel in Doha. Like he was like going for more of that counter offensive style and really taking his time. Like, Borel, from the bouts I've recorded of his, he averages like something like 12.8 seconds a touch, right? And, you know, he liked to go, go, go. And then I think that bout with El Sayed in Tokyo, I think made him kind of pause, like, is this the way forward? Have people started picking up on my style? And similarly, Heinzer, right? Like back in the day, Wild Child, like the Joker on the strip, he would be doing the wild off the line backflips and things like that. So it's like now he's going into more of this kind of defensive style post Tokyo, from what I'm seeing. So be interesting to watch this battle, right? Is Borel going to go for his more counter offensive style? Heinz for more of that defensive style that he's feeling at post Tokyo.
Yeah, and I was talking with Eric Bois a lot, and he kept saying he was like, man, Borel like has no concept of bout management, especially in Tokyo. And to him, he was like, man, if that guy learns to calm down, like he will just be a monster. He'd be even better. And then seeing
Yeah,
that in Doha made me really happy because clearly Aubry and Grumier are absolutely just. I would assume the practices are hard and harsh.
probably. And you mentioned with Burrell, like I think ability wise, right? He's up there with the greatest of all time. Like when that guy is on the strip, you're getting some of the most consistent FA results that you've probably gotten since. I mean, I don't know, probably like people like Tags and Janae and what Kolokov, and you're getting consistent results from him. But like you said, bout management can be an issue sometimes. Like not having one speed all the time of go off the line and always attacking, right? So he's discovering himself now, I think, a little bit post Tokyo and seeing the kind of fencer he wants to become.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a bit more maturity come in. And then I think at that point, when you know someone's gonna pressure you, all you have to do is just be ready all the time. But then
Yeah,
and at that point, easier said than done, obviously, when you have an absolute behemoth of a man in front of you. But that being said, if only like El Sayed, he's probably trained so long to just beat Borel.
oh yeah,
And to Borel, he was probably looking a bit further, and then all of a sudden you get caught off guard. So that being said, let's start.
yeah, yeah.
And let's go. I honestly don't 100% know what to expect Because based on Doha, I was like Borel's going to be a bit more passive yet assertive.
So let's talk about that a little bit, right? Like, so you and I were talking about this earlier today. I think it'd be good to talk about this with your viewers too, right? Like how we thought this battle would go. I think both you and I agreed, like this is going to be a matter of absorption of the attack, right? Because Borel does not have any weaknesses to his game except for that one little thing, which is if you can really time his attacks, absorb them, parry them, repost, right? Like if you try to out attack Borel, you're going to lose doing that. And that was part of what El Sayed did in Tokyo. El Sayed is not a defensive fencer by any means, but in Tokyo, he became a defensive fencer in order to go up against Borel. And so anytime you see Borel lose, it's because people have figured out the timing on his attack. They absorb him, and it's usually that two tempo game that they're playing against him, making him hesitate, bringing him in a close distance, and then looking for that deep parry repost. Well, what do you think?
Yeah, well, like it's like the last time Yamada won a World Cup, it was against I think Borel in the final, and like
15, 14.
Yamada is like just it was like 13, 14 or whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah.
But like Yamada's like that static footwork to where he's like, I'm not going to follow you ever. Deal with it. So it's like
And then
always
it was
static, static. Then just flick, flick. No, flick, flick.
come in and then, like, behind the head, and he was doing like that. He was doing infighting against Borel like I've never seen. I mean, it was really really cool.
And then here you have Heinzer, and then he tested positive for COVID a while ago. So apparently that made him more tired, which apparently led to him deciding to be a bit more defensive at this competition. Which I think, in a sense, is probably like when you have to restrict yourself, you end up being, you impose a limitation on yourself, which ends up actually being good for you in a sense.
Yeah,
And
yeah, and
then,
make you less jumpy, right? It's like Michael Jordan in the flu game. He gets the flu, and then I guess somehow calmed his nerves, and he's vomiting profusely, and then goes out and plays one of the biggest games of his life. So there's some truth to that, right? Like when you're feeling miserable, it settles you down a lot
well,
of
you
the
make
time
your
because
movements count, right?
yeah, and you're focusing more on the misery than you are the nerves. So it's like there's definitely some truth to that. I know that I sort of gotten COVID, and I certainly hope he's feeling better.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I saw one of his recent training videos. He was like using this mask or whatever to try to like make it harder to breathe so he could train his lungs back up. Anyway, it doesn't sound fun. I'm very glad I haven't officially tested positive for that stuff yet.
Yeah, me either, man. Me either. I've got the baby upstairs. I'm just trying to avoid it like the plague, you might say.
All right, so let's start. So, like, before the bout starts, my initial expectation is Borel is going this way, and then Heinzer is going that way, like going the polar opposite.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of push from Borel, a lot of pull from Heinzer. You see that arm back, trying to draw on that deep parry.
Also, what's interesting is that they have a stiff.
There's that beat.
Oh,
Oh, that
there it is.
powerful.
Just power through it. Actually, let's get a play
But
by
look at
play
that.
on
Look at that tripper before he beat, and he takes in four.
So the one beat the check, and he's like, I don't believe you. Like, but he gets the eight, just not happening. Oh, he gets the eight, but no. All right. So at that point, you can tell Heinz's not overthinking it. He's like, I missed, and he came in.
Yeah,
You got Borel.
right.
One could say he got conquered.
Okay,
Even
so
just by
very
stance. Oh, go ahead.
very cautious, kind of going with that subtle low game. There's that beat eight that he loves to do. Flick. Heinzer's pulling the arm back there, searching. Making that invitation to pull that six in. That's what he's so good at, man. He's just opening different lines. Think you have that opening to go, and he just closes that line. And
Nice. Yep. So like, I love this kind of game. This is right because like you have that arm out, so you're actually
yeah,
like creating two distances, which really used to mess me up. Because like there's that blade out here, and you're like, yeah, I
yeah,
got through it. No, I'm just kidding. There's actually a whole other layer behind that.
Yep.
Not even counting the legs that can actually act as a third layer. So like he can
Right.
really do one, two, and then if the legs go in, there's actually a third one.
Yeah. And then it's also like, he'll do this stuff that he'll come in with his hand up here sometimes. He'll bring it out here. And he makes these like very, very drastic kind of openings that you think, oh, yeah, in the right range to go direct there. And he just closes the line and messes you up with that. But I mean, what he did there is he just confused Borel. It looks like he like was going to different lines throughout, and Borel didn't know what to do. And then Borel starts this direct attack. Heinz was ready for a squat and just gets that perfectly timed counter right there. And that's what I think we're going to see a lot of in this bout, right? If I'm going to guess, is he's just going to try to confuse the hell out of Borel in
Yeah,
preparation, which is really hard to do.
yeah. You
Borel,
see, you can't let him prep for free, basically.
no,
Like right
no.
here, you're like Max Heinzer, you're panicking. You're like, I just lost control.
Yeah. Because I mean, he's completely off balance on that front leg going back, and that's the kind of thing that the French love. Like they get you off balance for just a jiffy. Even if like you finish your attack, you're in your recovery. French are so good at those punishment touches. So he pushed Heinzer there, got him off balance, and then boom.
Or is that
Right.
tip penetration? It's so threatening.
Yes. All right. So like, yeah, by now, typical Borel against anybody else probably would have plowed right through that.
Like, see, I'm really surprised to see from actually both of these guys. I'm surprised to see such like a release of whatever this was. This pressure. They just let go of it right away.
Yeah. It was like, you're pulling me to your 2 meter zone. I don't like what I see. Let's reset and try this again. And oh, okay.
Oh, whoever's in here, please leave.
Who's this? Nello.
All right, perfect. I can always cut this out. No worries.
All good.
Anyway, so yeah, so I think this is a bit of a like you're just establishing that you will not be pushed for free kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you get to prep for like Borel can just get to prep forever. But now at least there's the doubt, and Borel, Max does this a lot, where he'll just grab and go.
Yeah. Yeah. No hesitation. So at 3-2 now.
Already for these guys, this is a slow bout already.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, even just seeing both these names and seeing a 21-minute recording.
Yeah, no, that
Oh,
ain't.
well done.
Play that again. So he's pushing, gets him to pick his hand up just for a second.
Yeah, so like see that high blade here, it's just he's making him look up.
There's that beat. Look how much power he got in that beat. Like for a guy as strong as Borel, he sent his tip into the shadow realm there
Look
with
at
that. That
Boom!
that's what you call disruption. Like Johann Harmenberg would watch that and probably be like, hell yeah. And then boom. That's
Nicely
just
done.
it's beautiful.
But you see, so like this is like he was actually just he was like I don't know how the word in French is dompté. He was like training him, kind of like a dog, but don't like it's just he was giving him 8, and he's like, look here, and then when he does, you just try.
Right.
And I love these kinds of actions because they're so low effort for you, and if you miss, you're so safe.
Yeah, you are. And that's part of what they work on in pentathlon, right? Is like going for those really short, low risk targets like that. It's what Igor Riesland does really well when he's down.
Oh yeah, there's about oh my god.
Oh jeez. So, oh god. Okay, play that again. That's yielding parry right there, right? Like Borel's got that always solid octave, and he comes in with it. And Heinzer just takes that really deep yielding 4 right there. Like, here it is.
So here
Boom,
he's like, no 6. Okay. Borel still borderline pushes through it. Barely misses.
and now he's like going up to a parry 5.
You
and
get
his
a
hands
weird
up.
5. Oh my
How
god.
did he get out of this?
Oh my god.
He's like getting power on his beats with his arm all the way out here.
Okay, there are like 4 parries so far. Perhaps even 5. Oh my god.
Okay, so this is the start of a new. Oh, and now he just beat him so hard that Borel's arm was back here. What? Okay, there's the deep four, and there's the repost.
Okay, so from what I saw is he held them off for about 4 5 parries, and then eventually Yannick had to pull back, and then there was just enough distance to close the 4. One more time for the fans.
Yeah, he just takes that yielding four right there, man. And you see that's part of what he did really well, right? Is he pulled him to his 2 meter zone, 1 foot over the line, and he kind of forced him into this close distance that Borel is never really comfortable when he gets into that really close tip past the Bellegarde distance, and he has to play that infighting game. I mean, he's a big dude, but when you start getting inside him like that,
Well, that's
that's where his
beyond
weakness.
infighting, right? Borel never actually goes in infighting, then goes. It's like it's a flesh, and if the flesh didn't actually hit, then he's in trouble. But the thing is that the flesh usually hits.
Right.
But once it's at that part where like we're past like that, boom, we've passed the cannonball. The cannonball has missed. Now we're more in Heinzer territory. But
Yeah, we're past his one tempo glory that he's so good at.
then looking at that, Max still had to fight. But like, let's say like you have a student who looks at this hit and you're like, he's like, how do you do that? And you're like, you all, hopefully you don't.
And one of my best students, right? He's this big Max Heinzer fan, and I'm like, listen, Heinzer's really fun to watch. He's got highlight reel touches and stuff, but there's certain games that only certain fencers can play, right? And a lot of what Heinzer's doing, I don't think was coached. I think it was like his personality coming out through him on the strip, like an expression of himself. You know, Paolo Milanoli was like that too. You cannot replicate what some of these guys do. And so, I tell my student who loves him and idolizes him, I'm like, listen, why don't we just focus on doing like direct attack instead of, being it about and, doing this jump six flick over the back, because that's his game. That's the Heinzer game, man. And not a lot of people can really replicate that.
It also comes from a lot of practice. Like, you're gonna lose a lot before that starts working.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like, and then I guarantee you, Heinzer learned how to do this first.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh man! But at the end, it's still like the core principle: draw out the extension, and then you do your fancy stuff. It's
Yeah.
just the end road is a little fancier. Oh my god!
Okay, we're right back. We're right back to that 2 meter zone, right where Borel doesn't want to be. There's that beat. He's kind of just like, can you not? Can you just come out of here?
Okay, like it's 2 for 2 on these deep ones.
Like, look how far the weight is on Heinzer's back foot. I don't know how he doesn't fall on his ass when he does stuff like this.
This is wild. So like this is like where I was talking about this with Fabrice. Is like when you're applying pressure, you need to let it go, because otherwise that person in front of you is just 100% ready all the time. Actually, I think we were talking about this earlier too. But like, if you don't release that pressure, you just got this person in front of you who's just not giving up.
Right.
And at that point, there, like, you just gave them, like, you gave them priority, as it were.
Yeah, I had a coach, Mario Gillette, who called this A distance, right? When you get your tip over the guard of your opponent, you don't hang out there, right? You either go or you back up. Like, you're in the war zone as soon as you get your tip over the guard. You can't hang out there. And Borel is kind of hanging out there for these last 2 touches. Like, all right, what do I do? Because Heinzer is just deflecting his blade over and over again. Borel's not committing to that closing action. And when he finally does, he gets caught in that blade. Oh,
All right, so now I like the change it up that he shows them something different, and then he instantly just capitalizes.
yeah. Goes
Shows
low
it once.
and then
Wow,
low.
he showed it once.
Yep. Does his tip go? Is that like a feint outside in 6? So there's like the low pump. No, that's just like a short step, but like 2 tempo flush there.
So the one yeah, boom, and and honestly for Borel, it's a bit of an atypical action. He doesn't usually do things like this.
No, he doesn't
Very
open
good
himself.
change.
Like that would be more of like a Canone
Yeah,
style
Kanani would
touch.
do that.
This wide invitation low, and then you're going up. That's not something that Borel would do. It's not something that Bardenay would do. All right, so again, he's just kind of like very small steps, like cautious, kind of doing this double advance, double retreat.
Question is, are we getting a hit in the next 4 seconds?
No.
I honestly think I honestly think Borel's lucky here. I think if he committed to that, he was done.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd be curious to see if in the second period, Heinzer is going to keep playing this 2-meter zone game, or if he's going to start. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, we did not see Heinzer push Borel to
At
his
all.
side of the strip a single time.
Also, I'm wondering. So, like, I would expect to see more push release from Borel, or at least that's what I would assume he's being told. Heinzer's likely gonna keep going back and absorbing, but at that point, you're like, I wonder how draft, and especially the Swiss have a new coach, who was the French coach before. So I wonder how that affects his mentality versus Borel at all.
Yeah. And now we just got Franco Cerruti from the Swiss. So, it's a very incestuous world out there.
So before we start, so what do you think is going to be the adaptation from Borel here?
I think Borel is going to try to pull more in this period. I think he's going to actually try to get Heinz to go to his side of the strip, and go more to that counter-offensive game that he saw in Doha. I think especially if they get some kind of tie in this period, I think you're going to see more of the pulling from Borel. Little bit more caution this period. I think caution from both probably, and just judging from this video and the length, we're going to probably see some fireworks probably later on.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah, now we're seeing kind of a wider stance from Heinzer. He's getting his arm a little bit more out there.
And we're instantly seeing him not go back for like his retreats are not as given or aren't given as free as they were in the previous period.
So when his arm's out here like this, do you think he's trying to bait Borel into his inside line so he can kind of take a step back, draw the arm back, take a deep forward?
I think so. I think he's trying to give like a false dimension.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
We were talking about that earlier, right? Like, don't go for the toe of the French because their timing on your recovery is so good that when your foot's that far forward and you're off balance and you're going back in recovery, this is something that like play that one more time. It's like perfect timing right there. Boom, starting the attack, like swings his leg back and he's already starting the attack. And look,
yeah.
he got the lunge on the short target there, right? When did the light go off? Just now.
Let's see. So he just misses on the reprise. He goes back in. Oh, he
Oh, he,
actually, I think he hit him on a foot on the way in. But
he got on the toe.
regardless, he was super dead.
But the timing on that is so good, right? And like I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation of her name. Like Kandasamy does this really well. Jay Cocan does it really well. Louis Marie does it really well. Um, it's something that they seem to train this very well. Like you
Well,
go for the foot, you overcommit, and on your recovery, they're already going for your foot.
yeah, and then a lot of them do it too. It's a bit more hand, but like Gerard does it too. It's like when as soon as there's a threat to the hand, like a lot of people do this, and then they come back. So it's really that. Oh no,
Yeah,
it's that same principle. And then here, like you know, when you go for the foot, like yeah, especially for the French, you really want that step in, then they go. But here
yep,
it felt like Max was a little bit late, and he was actually just off on the timing.
yeah. So let's see. When does he do this? It's so Borel comes out with an
So ideally, you
advance,
want to do it like there,
right?
right?
Yeah,
But then see, he
yeah.
does it
No,
a
he did
little
it. He
late. He
did
was
that.
already
He was
done.
just a hair too late.
So like you want to do it here, but now if you have time to see it, it's too late. Here, here, too late. Obviously, I can scold him all day for trying that, but I'm not in top 16 in a World Cup.
How did you do in Doha?
Though I did not go to Doha, I was too
Oh, you
freaked
went
out
to.
with cold. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Budapest.
Okay.
I did not make it out of pools and burn, so I'm really upping my credibility as one of these analysts here. But that's
Hey,
okay. I'll let the flame roll by.
yeah, because I don't think you got to be a great, you know, up of the line fencer to be able to analyze fencing. I certainly was not a good fencer by any means, but you and I had that in common. That we just like we love to watch this. We love the sport, right? And so I don't think a bad result in burn precludes you in any way, shape, or form from having a
Oh
strong,
no,
solid
I had like
analysis.
such a fun moment. Like I was sensing Kano, and like I got this direct flesh on him, and I was like,
Awesome.
"Yo, I just got a direct flesh on Kano. I can do this." Then I never did it again.
Oh man.
I'll show you the bat later, just so we're not intruding on this. But yeah, I don't think my results show to what I know about fencing. But that being said, like it's my I don't know. I've got a few years of good fencing left in me. I'm going to use them.
Good. I mean, how old are you?
34.
Okay, yeah, we're roughly the same age.
Like I had to think about my own age.
Yeah, you in a pandemic long enough and you forget these things. All right, so now we're seeing a little bit more of the cautious game here. Just playing chicken, little half advance, little beat, little engagement six, little feint six under the wrist. But still, Borel is playing this pressure game, and he's like, I don't want to attack this
He's
scary
really
man in the
staying at
red.
that one distance.
Yeah, and Heinzer and there's a little flick saying, "Get away from me." No,
I
that
would
was
call
hardcore.
that was Kora Kora, but I this is one of
Hardcore then the touch.
that is one of like I've noticed Max is one of the crappiest users of video replay.
When you're in the heat of the moment like that, you see it in the NFL all the time. Like there's a blatant call that's good from the refs, and coach will get passionate, throw the red flag,
Yeah.
challenge flag. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, you just kind of.
Oh yeah, I'm one to talk. I get super heated, and I think I've called some really blatant stuff. So let's see.
So yeah, let's see. Okay, he comes in, and right
Let's see that contact. Yeah, there's contact.
right there, there's
Yeah,
a
no good.
contact.
Just clear one, then two.
Yeah.
As non-violent as it was. You see? Did you see that bout? It was Nikishin fencing Pereira, I think, in a semifinal, and Pereira being the actor that he is.
20,
Yeah,
where I mean,
like
let's be
Nikishin
real.
straight up pushed him.
I don't blame Nikki Shin for being angry by the end of that bout because there was some soccer flopping in that bout, and
Oh yeah,
Epee Epee is not a game for soccer flopping theatrics. Like that's not how we roll. And I remember at the end of that bout, like Pereira tried to like
he was like,
shake
I don't
his
want to hurt
hand,
you.
and he shook his hand, but then he like pretended to flop backwards after he got. Yeah, that was one of the testiest bouts I think I've documented with my whole thesis project so far.
Oh, that was funny to watch live, and like, Nikishin's already not the most happy fencer on the piece, so.
No, he seems like he's had like years of tumultuous life in him, and but he's a brawler. Is that PEPO? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got to be PO at this point, right?
See, like, I never thought I'd see this between these two.
You mean just like either of them drawing a PO? Oh yeah,
Yeah, especially against each other.
yeah.
Wow, that foot again. Let's look how fast it reacts.
Yeah, he takes his parry. He's coming up. Somehow catches.
Somehow catches the 6 on the flip side.
I think if I was recording this in my,
Oh, I think you get some on the mask, so you can kind of see it right here.
I think he might have been flat right there. Cause like, yeah, no. So he somehow misses on the mask.
Like, Max gets hit on the mask, I think.
Right, but flat, I think, because right here is where you see the light go off. So he misses the mask, and then look on the machine over the
Oh,
right
yes. Okay, so this one's actually not syncing
Right
with that
elbow.
one. So he flats the mask and then hits him on the way out, actually.
shoulder. Yeah. Yeah, he scooped him in 6 and hit him on the elbow. But like, if I was recording this for my thesis, I'd probably record that as a remise. Like that just seemed kind of
Yeah, I mean,
unintentional.
technically it is.
Yeah, unintentional chaos.
So right now, as Heinzer, I'd be freaking out because my my plan is currently not working. Like, the absorption is not working anymore. So I'm curious to see like how he's gonna claw back in, because as of right now, I'm feeling the momentum on Borel.
And now they're playing chicken in the box. So there's a little flick.
Yeah, notice now that Borel doesn't have the lead, he's absorbing back.
Oh, look where Borel is now. This is the first time we've seen this in the battle. We are in the Borel territory.
Oh, he missed.
He missed, yeah.
So I thought that was kind of his timing, but actually, let's go in slow. I might be horribly wrong.
I don't think he even missed. I think that Heinzer closed him out in 4. Like, closed him out in 4 opposition.
Yeah, actually, 100%. He didn't even miss. Heinzer just played him.
Yeah.
Right, because now he's being too passive. Heinzer sneaks in, like he's clearly ready. He's like blade to blade, and then 4. That was actually really clean.
That was very clean. Very, very Italian style touch there.
Yeah. Nice work. I'm so glad we have YouTube nowadays and can go frame by frame, because like just watching it, I would have been like, oh, it looks like Borel missed, but in reality, he wasn't even close to hitting.
Oh, that's why my project is possible, right? Like now we actually have the opportunity to record data and kind of moneyball fencing, and that was impossible when we need to have people like Cyrus of Chaos and Fencing Vision and things like that.
Well, back then I remember I remember what it was. I remember Cody Mattern beat Fabrice Genet in a World Cup, and I really wanted to see it. And the amount of lengths that I had to go to find this footage, I was a bit of a psychopath. Cause like I was texting people in France and I was seeing like if anyone had like recordings or whatever, and eventually some dude was like, "Yeah, I'll burn you a DVD." And a guy had it. He put it on DVD. I sent him like 20 euros,
Legit.
and then he sent in the mail. I went through some pretty crazy. And then back then it was also I think Fencing Pictures used to have some recordings, but none of it was live. It was always recorded after the fact. Anyway,
Right.
good times. But
Yeah.
I'm so jealous because like all the kids now have all these footage,
Yeah, they do.
uh, and I would have nerded out even harder than I did. But I would just sit there and watch the same
I'm like,
DVDs.
record everything. Because like, I'm now starting to build data profiles on my kids. You know, they'll go to these tournaments. Like, you know, I got a baby. I can't go to every single tournament with them. But I'm like, I tell the parents, I'm like, put that camera right in the middle,
Just put it.
record everything because I want to know average time per touch. I want to know the distance they're attacking from. I want them going one tempo, not two tempo when it's possible. And then I want to see the progression over time. So it's like data, man. Data is good stuff, and we're not doing enough of that in fencing. Like I'm kind of surprised how we're still in the 20th century with that. So he's making these huge imitations. Oh,
So like he was really just windmilling for him there.
what even happens? A huge beat up in six. Like somehow catches him in this deep four. His arm is all the way back here, like this, and he finishes with that.
Engage. So he goes in, tries to beat it in 8, turns into a 4 remise.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think
that's
the
exactly.
important part is that Max got that because Borel was too close and got really caught flat-footed.
Yeah. But
Because
like you
he's
see,
there, like he just.
but it looked like on the initial flesh, it looked like Heinzer's blade bent. I don't know if he was like flat or something, but like, look at this when he comes in. You see
Yeah.
the blade. Right there. It looks like he.
Really close. It might just be the pure raw power of Heinzer slash Borel existing.
I don't know how you do this mid flesh, catch them, and still hit. I mean, that's
That's a tough
that's
one, but like usually you see it a lot. Like someone takes 8, you see it into 4 in the flesh, but that was not
yeah.
even that. Like that was just I'm parrying 4 in the flesh.
What a freak, man. He can still get like even though he's much more subdued
Still
now
gets
than
it.
he still makes some pretty circus touches. And that's a circus touch.
Like there's a moments where like you're in practice, like you can only get away with that because you've failed it so many times. Like like this guy must be a blast to practice with.
Yeah, and it's so cool, like that creativity in the moment, right? Like you're not thinking when you do something like that. Like that's just trained instincts right there. Like you're thinking what you do before a touch, right? You might be thinking how you're gonna close when you're in preparation. But once that action starts going and you're in that flesh, that's not playing. That's all instinct right there, man. That's like survivor mentality right there. It's like firefighter response kicking in. You're like, yeah, I'm in this. I'm in the middle of this flesh, and yeah, just my body is subconsciously telling me, okay, that's the thing that makes the most sense right now.
Well, that's the feeling, right?
Yeah. All right, so
All right, so
we know from the tableau that this is going to go to a full 15-14. Right, we know the end of this, right? But look at this. We're 7-6 going into the third period. So I feel like we're about to see. I'm going to guess these two for the next minute are going to play chicken, and then they're going to go back to like full on pre-Tokyo crazy Borel, Heinzer. That's what I think is going to happen here.
I'm okay. How do I? Cause like I don't think Borel's gonna go past his on guard line.
You mean you don't think Borel's going to retreat?
He's not gonna retreat. Yeah,
What
I
if
don't.
what if he takes a lead?
Only if he gets a lead, but I don't think he's gonna get a lead.
So you think Heinzer is going to hold this?
I
for
think
the rest of
Heinzer
the
holds this point for the third period. I'm placing my bets,
Okay.
putting my house down. Just kidding. I'm in Canada. It's too expensive.
I don't think he's going to hold this lead. I think we're going to see a couple lead changes here.
You heard it here, folks. There's a disagreement.
There's a disagreement.
All right. So now that I hate you forever, let's see what happens.
I think for the next minute, you're going to see just cautious play, and then the fireworks are going to start.
I would have laughed if Borel just instantly retreated.
I mean, I was wrong because bam, like there was no chicken for the first minute. That's 5 seconds in right there.
Yeah, this is more reminiscent of what I would have expected before.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so now we're in the. Look at that! Like, how does he get?
So
Ooh.
this is Max Heinzer is being a little bit too wild.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're at that distance, right? Why are you going for a flick? I mean, you're already past the elbow. Like, just go direct at this point, right?
Yeah. It's like, well, to me, this is also like this is a very big hindsight analysis, but like, yeah, because like he gets in, he does the one flick, and then I guess just out of instinct, he's like, I gotta flick it in again.
Yeah.
Because he does that one, and then he
Right.
tries to flick it again, and oh wait, how he barely misses, maybe.
But you're at close distance at this point. Like, just go direct.
Yeah. This is Borel being really disciplined on the tip here. Like 8-8. My God, we're gonna get 7 points.
All right, so now we're going back. I was wrong. These guys are not playing out this minute. They're okay. That was nice. Drew that extension.
Like that's an opposition, folks.
Yeah, that is a 8 opposition right there. There's the beat, search, boom, collapse the distance a little bit more. And that's it right there. That's the oh shit moment because he's got it and just with that
And
small
like,
step
look how
forward.
little he moves. This is like pure finger and just
But the feet too, right? Like replay that, you know, just kind of focusing on the feet. Like tiny, like
Yeah, it's a very
Peter
slow.
good shy steps right there. It's like bop, 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 bop. That's part of why I love watching like a guy like Alexander Bardenet, man. Like the way that he prepares with his feet, almost like a saberist. Like, you know how he
I
takes
love how he fences.
yeah, tiny steps with the feet, and then just explodes.
Okay, so let's see. As I said, unless Borel was behind, but no. Oh my God, he's just closing. Okay, this is not what I was expecting to happen.
And is that so? I don't think has there been a 2-touch lead in this bout yet.
So these are the parts where. No, I know what I know the end, so I know somewhere. Borel doesn't manage as much as he should. Like to me, this is the part where like if Borel just goes on lockdown mode and full absorption, I think Heinzer has no chance.
Right.
In theory.
And this is where I think Borel is going to start pulling. And now he's got this 2-touch lead. He's 4 away. Right? Is this where he starts to? No, he pushing.
He's not having it.
He's pushing. Yeah.
Okay. That was nice.
Yeah, just got him on Tom Purdue there.
This is something that Max does a lot. There's always like a big beat one way, and then he just circles back the complete opposite way.
Yeah, but you know what Borel doesn't do a lot is stop on a Tom Purdue. Right? Boom, right there. That's where he comes forward, dead tempo, stops right here, right?
Oh my god, yeah, just super. Oh wow.
You
done.
never see dead tempos from the French, but that was a typical Tom Purdue right there. Start the preparation, stop for a moment, boom. That's
Yeah.
something the French capitalize on. You don't see that from a lot of other countries.
And then to me, like, this is the part where, like, if Borel just chilled, he didn't have to make that error. Like, to me, that's a Borel-induced error. It's not that Max Heinzer didn't deserve the point. Well, like, I feel like he created that opportunity for him to just get blasted there.
Yeah. And stop it on the dead tempo. And anytime you do that at this level, you're gonna get blasted.
Okay.
All right, so now one touch lead.
Oh, now he retreats?
Yeah, now he's pulling. Probably the second time this vow that he's pulled. So what was that? Parry repost?
Just nice and clean. So. Beat.
Shows high, drops low.
And too slow.
Yeah,
Just
takes
a
him
little
in
bit out of distance from Max.
a little bit.
By a little bit, I mean.
Did Borel look like he have him in octave there for like a one tempo close up parry repost there? Or was that a counter attack? Like that's what I'm
thinking
when I
more
watch-
counterattack. So he goes. Max seems to go low.
Yeah.
He gets it over and just.
Deflection right there, and then no.
There's a little step there. I think that was the key here.
Yeah. Little out of distance.
This, like, I feel like this doesn't look like much. This right here, but this is what makes this as clean as it looks.
You mean the way that he kind of leans back into it into his
Yeah,
back
just
foot
that
there?
tiny like half step
Yeah.
there, or half retreat, should I say? All right, so if I was watching here, I would be like, well, Borel wins.
Yeah. Now here's something you'd never see, and that's Borel going into 2 meter zone territory. That never happens.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen this very often. Not only this bout, just in general.
Yeah, and like Borel's not even like bouncing right here. He's just kind of like,
He honestly doesn't look comfortable.
oh, look at this.
Whoa.
He he does this huge feint low, and he draws that counter immediately and just prise de fer, boom. Like he gave him bait there, and he took it. Like that was beautiful.
Like he shows low, and then he just.
Oh, Borel's arm is gonna come out right here.
Boom.
Boom, prise de
Very
fer.
clean. This is Borel being too passive here.
Yeah, man, like it's weird. You know, there was a dead tempo touch that we talked about earlier, right? But then there, you never see Borel stop bouncing and moving. And there he just kind of, when he got in the 2 meter zone, not the passivity that you expect from him at all.
Oh my god, that exchange was awesome. Do you
And it's like, you know, it reminds me when I see things like this, right? Like, you ever fence with Dennis Kraft?
I have not, no.
Okay, well, like Dennis Kraft, I don't know if you've seen him, USA guy, right? He's built like a brick wall football player, linebacker kind of guy, right? But he's just very, very, very clean technical fencer. Like he'll go with a flash, do like 3 disengages before he hits. But when he needs to brawl it out and get inside and really, really fight like that, that strength is there. And that's kind of how I feel about Borel too, right? Like Borel, very, very clean fencer, but when he needs to use that strength on the inside, when he gets inside like that and really go heavy on the blade, it's there when he needs it. It's just not his primary game.
Yeah. So right here, I feel like Heinzer really sold the foot touch because Borel is like, right. So like he really thinks there's that. Oh my God, this is. Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
Because there's that signature French go in to punish the toe hit.
Right.
Oh, this is why Heinzer is so mad. Oh my. Oh, they both just remised. Wow.
Yeah, I could see. I'd be pissed in it if I were Heinzer there too.
Yeah, I worked this hard for a double.
All right, so 13-12. I think this is where we're going to see Heinzer start to get creative silliness. Just okay.
You weren't
So it
wrong.
looks like he goes to that big six again, and Borel is just going to disengage to the inside here. Looks like there's that. Yeah, way too big, and Borel's just like
Borel saw it coming, or at least he was ready for it.
right because he's coming all the way across here, and Borel simple disengage right
Like
here.
this is also Taggy does this too, but a little bit more elegantly. But show a huge 8, which he kind of reacts to, and then they always do the 6th because it's just so provocative. But Borel just read the whole thing, and now I'm really wondering how Borel loses.
Yeah, this is not what you would expect, but I think this is where you're going to start to see more of the kind of like creative setup leading to a flush attack from Heinzer. So it's pushing, yeah.
Whoa.
Okay, there. Okay,
Okay.
we saw vintage Heinzer there for a moment, man, because he opened that up. Boom, there's the back flick. Was flat, and Borel probably felt that on a scapula, but boom,
that was oh my God, just barely misses. Borel probably thinks he got hit there.
you can see that little divot, like you could see it actually appear in his jacket. He somehow didn't hit that.
Oh my God,
but at that point, right, he's recovering, and he's already in this really close distance, so he's just like, all right, boom, flash.
My goodness. That's funny. I'm hearing the French are like, tell him to go on guard, damn it.
Wide stance. Pulling. Arm is kind of farther out again.
There it is.
See, anytime you see that kind of body language right there, right after a touch like that, that's where you know the other guy has the momentum. Oh. Ooh.
Yeah, overly rushed just feels a little bit undisciplined.
Right there, right? Like body language says so much.
Yeah.
Right? And even though Borel is this very seasoned guy who's been through every single bout, every single scenario, every single fencer you can think of, you read that body language and you know where destiny is at this point. Does this get a priority? I don't think so. Not with 30 seconds left.
I don't think so. And like this is weird. Like so, Borel simultaneously does not want to be on the back of his strip, nor does he want to be on the end where Max is. He needs this sweet spot here.
Right.
because everything else is like really sounds like certain doom.
It does. See, Borel's like not even going kind of that single direction. He just kind of opened up the distance a little bit.
So this is
See
a
if I.
little, or this is something. If someone's watching here, if you're really tense, do this. Just back out and let yourself breathe.
Back out, let yourself breathe.
Just don't stay in that uncomfortable situation because it only gets more awkward.
Yeah, well said. There's the beat. And see, like Borel, if he was not fencing Heinzer, probably right off that beat would take another step forward and then go.
See, here it's dead. I know it's... Oh my god, lucky.
You hit floor, no, you hit floor.
You both hit floor. Alright, we'll be the judges. So,
One more time. Floor for...
They both hit floor?
Yeah, I think they both hit floor. Because Borel looks like he deflects him kind of down all the way to the floor. Wait, when do the lights go off?
So
Right.
on the machine, the lights are off. I actually think this is a legit double.
Yeah, it's a legit double.
Which is funny because they're both like, no, you hit the floor.
Yeah, no, it's a legit double.
It's alright. Do your thing, referees.
We got 8.3 seconds. Yeah, this probably will get a priority then.
Yeah, time remaining on video. We are getting some prio. Either that or there's just an epic like victory dance. Alright, that was... Same thing though, Borel wants the sweet spot, anything else is doom. I have a feeling that what's gonna happen is Borel's gonna just get him to the back and then Heinzer's gonna take it.
I think Heinzer is going to be the one taking the initiative on this. Like Heinzer in priority overtime situations, he will not let you attack him. He will be the person attacking. So there's that raised guard. Oh!
God, I hate when I'm wrong.
That was so pretty. So there's the raised guard, right? Boom, feint under the guard.
I love, oh my god, that was sick.
Yeah, and it's like just like a straight up foil action, 1-2. Pulls the arm back one, outside.
And then, yeah, it's a cutover. Very nice. That's hard to do. And, like, as soon as you get that blade contact, you know you're, like, it's over.
It's over.
Hand.
But the real question is, how big is the celebration?
Let's see.
Oh. He's smiling. He's not going crazy. Usually I would expect to see him kind of running around.
Yeah, I would expect like a victory lap. Oh, Dad.
Oh, he got the dead fish.
Well, it's not even like, I get it now because usually like you settle for a fist bump. He got like the dead like.
Yeah, he got he didn't even get it. Extended and like
flat.
There it
The
is.
thumbnail.
There's vintage Heinzer right there.
We had to get something in there. Oh my god, give me more.
And who did he lose to after this? Right, he lost in the.
I think he gets absolutely blasted by Vismara.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my god. I like how like he's like move over it, get out of the way. That's so funny.
Fantastic.
That was very fun to watch.
That was a good bout.
Oh man. Well, I guess now you can see that two people can look at bouts differently and still be friends.
That's right.
Well, that was actually even more fun to watch. Oh, actually, Cuomo. Sorry, I thought it was Vismara. It was actually Cuomo. He was on fire that day. I mean, as per his result.
documented it this morning, and Cuomo, I think, discovered a kryptonite with Canone's game, and that is, Canone plays the Z-axis better than anybody, right? He gets low below the guard and completely submerges himself in a way that leaves him not open to the attack.
Just
And Cuomo
disappears.
played that game too, and I've not seen anybody try to play that game against Canone. Cuomo did that fantastically. Every time Canone is coming forward, Cuomo's doing that squat, kind of going into his preparation that way. And
Yeah,
Canone
because
did
like
not.
Kenan has that, like he always does the pump to make you think something's happening, and then when nothing, you're like, I'm going to punish this. Just kidding. And
Yeah,
if you can find it, but Vismara was onto something. So I was watching Vismara's bout, and at one point towards the end, he just starts running at him, and because Kanan didn't have time to prep. Watch the last like 3 points of Vismara until he then chokes. But to his credit, he found something, and perhaps it was something that his coach said or whatever, and then maybe Cuomo found it. Anyway, it was interesting to watch.
yeah, I'll
So
bet.
this was our, I guess, raw view of a match. The next one we're going to do, we're both taking notes like crazy.
That's
I have a
right.
feeling your notes are going to be a lot denser than mine. But
It's
it'll
good.
be very interesting because then I think it'll have more. The video might probably end up being an hour and a half. Who knows?
Who
But
knows?
it should be pretty fun. If there's a bout you guys want to see, put it down in the comments. You have deadline of Friday because otherwise Damien's going to choose the bout.
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna watch my pool bout against Eric Boss.
Oh, you
That's
fenced them
cool.
in pools?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you,
Defensive pool. It didn't go well
do
for
you
me
have
at
that?
all.
Do you have that footage?
No, no, it's not out on the internet. Nobody should look for that. It's not
Oh,
there.
is it?
Not
Oh, does it exist?
there. Oh,
Oh, all right. I gotta find it, and I just want to show it to Eric.
there. Hmm, it's not there.
Not there at all. So, guys, go find what's not there. So,